Hello everyone, this is Andrew McNair from SWAN Capital with our May 2017 Educational Economic Update. In this month's video, we're going to talk about some major headlines that influenced markets in April and about a few quarterly reports that also came in. We hope this information is going to offer a lot of insight to you and about these developments on how it can translate to you as an investor. Now, as always, please stay tuned at the end for a required disclosure statement. So let's jump right into it. Data for consumer spending just came in, and consumer spending actually accounts for 2/3 of U.S. economic activity, which is included in the GDP report, Gross Domestic Product. And it was actually released in April 30th, and it showed that consumer spending increased at a mere 0.3% annually. That's really low, actually the lowest since 2009. The economy grew at 0.7%, its worst performance in 3 years. So before we get a really dismal look, let's actually take a look at the market. April actually ended with strong monthly gains. If you look at U.S. equities, the Dow and the S&P 500 fell slightly, but the NASDAQ actually closed slightly lower. It's important to note, if you look at the whole, major indexes as a whole for April, they're about up 1%. So that's the good news. The NASDAQ is 6 for 6 straight monthly gains. So the market's doing great, but if you look at consumer spending and the economy as a whole, they're kind of net neutral. So why is that? Well, it's probably because of some of these earnings reports that are coming out for corporations. We actually got some huge companies reporting, such as Apple, Facebook, Tesla, and BP, all reporting really good news. More than 75% of companies were surpassing profit estimates that they made, and about 70% were beating sales forecasts at the end of April. So that's really good outlooks that we're seeing. However, experts are saying that the number of companies topping profit and sales estimates were at the 5-year average high, so that's good news. But you're wondering, how is this not matching up with our economy that's not growing as fast as it once was? Well, the reason's probably because of robust global growth, and that's what's making up the lack of domestic activity here at home. Analysis shows that the more business a U.S. company does overseas, like the more money it makes in other countries, the better. About 40% of the S&P 500, the companies here, half of their earnings and revenues came overseas. So that's really great news here for our domestic businesses. Now, in the next coming month, we're going to get a lot of key economic data, such as the U.S. jobs report and more information from the Federal Reserve about interest rates. Now, we're also keeping an eye on how lawmakers are working with the budget. They did agree on April 30th, so there was no government shutdowns, but we're going to have to revisit this in September again. So we want to keep our eye on this. So that's it for this month's Educational Economic Update. We're going to see you again in June. Please RSVP for our upcoming client events. We have a really great cooking class. We're going to be doing sushi rolling this time, so that looks exciting. And you can RSVP by calling the office at 850-380-9558. Once again, this is Andrew McNair signing off for the month of May 2017.